Oh
I
wow.
was talking to Eric, and we were discussing the finer points of quarantine and how like dudes who cheat on their wives probably are having a really tough time right now.
Jesus Christ.
But like also like there's probably either tons of fights or tons of people fucking. Like those two things are happening right now around the world.
Well, I think we talked about it last week about how there's got to be like a baby boom in December or
Oh, for
like
sure.
around then from this. The Cove kids.
Yeah.
Cove kids. Do you think there'll be a generation? I mean, like, what are we at? Millennials? Gen X?
No, I think Gen X is the one above us.
Gen Z?
Gen Z? Are we through
Right.
Gen Z?
Gen Z?
Are we done with Gen Z?
I don't think so.
Because like, if this is the new like generation, I bet they're going to be COVID named related.
Yeah, our pandemic.
Quarantina.
Somebody will name someone will name their kid that.
Wait, so
I'm
Gen Z
Quarantina.
ended in 2015.
Social distancing.
So what is the current gen? Because they're clearly not saying much yet. But what's the name of this gen?
It says Google says PlayStation 4. It says Generation Z, people born from
I think it's
greatest
like
generation. Oh, that's 1901. I'm reading it backwards.
Gen Fortnite?
Generation
I mean,
Alpha?
if this new generation isn't called Gen C, then they're doing it wrong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Man, I'll tell you what though, the baby boom that happens from this is gonna all be like couples that didn't already have children. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, because everyone who's married with kids is not banging right now.
Dude, it is like I cannot. There's like a part we have our weekly scrum meeting, and I just give like the latest insane update that like what my children have been doing as they're just stuck at home while we're working from home. Kira has literally busted down a hole in our fence so that she could play with the neighbor boy, her friend behind her. The other day I was cooking food, and then the door busted open, and in comes Kira, Logan, my son, and their friend. He just came into my house, and I was like, "What?" Like,
Get out!
and then I look, and then they're like, "Yeah, we did it!" Like they were fucking stoked, and I'm like, "Okay, first of all, like social distancing, but also, oh god, yeah, there's a giant hole in the fence now. Cool." So now they play at the hole in the fence like they're like it's like a prison exchange.
Blaine,
What
you okay?
did you bust out condoms?
Huh?
Is he
What?
got a
Oh,
nice,
sorry.
He's got a presentation box of Johnny's.
Oh, sorry.
Was that you just trying to say that you fuck?
What?
I feel left out on this conversation, so let me just pull out my box of condoms to talk about.
I'll be
all the
honest.
fucking I'm doing.
While Chad was talking, I kind of wasn't paying too much attention to Blaine, and it looked like slices of cheese in the corner of my eye.
That's
I'm the joke I'm making is Chad's stories are the greatest. Hello, Dutch are the greatest form of birth control.
Contraceptive. Yep.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I do not want to have kids. You sound like you've been having a fucking festival,
Dude, and it's like I love my kids, they're great, but it's like,
Oh, for sure.
dude, it's so important to be able to have time away. Like that's it's for your own health.
So
and
do you
sanity.
do you have a room that you can just lock the door of and hide for an hour or two?
So
It's called a
not
panic
really,
room.
because like all of our doors that have locks on the inside, you know, they have locks, but like you could literally get any object that could just fit into that little slot on the outside and turn it. And my daughters learned how to do that because one of the fun games that my son likes to play is go find a door with a lock, shut himself in it, and lock the door, and then laugh while we're like, "Get out of the room!"
I love that game.
Yeah, especially when he finds something dangerous and then just starts to run with it, and then he goes and locks himself in there, and I'm like, how'd you get those scissors?
My niece and nephew have been raising hell at my sister's place. My niece locked my sister out of her house while they were supposed to be outside playing. She was like, "Hey, we're gonna go outside," and then she was like, she locked herself in because she said she needed to go to the bathroom. And then she also caught the microwave on fire. There started a fire in the kitchen.
Oh,
So-
damn.
Jesus Christ.
Logan has no fear of the electrical sockets, no matter how many times I tell him, and it scares the hell out of me. Like,
Well,
we even have like the
didn't,
little protected ones.
Didn't your other kid blast herself
Yeah.
with the socket?
Yes, she did. So it's
Love
like
this
you
story.
would
Have
think.
you told us on the RT podcast before?
I did. I think last time I was
Okay.
on, I told the story about Kira sticking the necklace in the light socket. And we have not changed it. It still works, but like it's there with the scorch marks as a reminder. So
My
it'll
sister has
probably
one of
be
those.
there until her teens. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she said she walked in on her son and he just looked like kind of distant and scared, and so did her daughter. And then her son just went, fire finger, and she was like, what are you talking about? I'm not gonna say his name. They just wouldn't say who did it, and they still to this day don't know who started like the fire finger.
Fire finger.
That's
Oh, don't like
exactly
that.
what she did.
Ew, really?
Yeah, she's really
Man,
creepy.
kids are creepy as fuck.
Yup.
Yeah, sometimes they say weird shit. But yeah, lately Logan, we have this like in our upstairs walkway. We have a cutout that looks down into our living room, and like lately he's just been like, "Hey, I'm gonna jump and grab it," and he's like trying to pull himself up, and I'm just like, "No!" Like he has no sense of danger at all. Like fire, doesn't give a shit. He's burned himself before, and then he's just like, "Ow!" And then the next time he's like, "Fire!" Ha! And then went for it again. So it's like
Letting him hurt himself and then have him learn that way. That's how it works, right?
I'm waiting for the learn, but also it's like I don't like April and I've already said we're like this is the first kid we take to the hospital, like 100%, no question about it. And so I'm just like I really hope it's not something bad enough to like seriously injure him.
I feel like you need to start padding your house immediately.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah.
feels like, man.
You don't want to go to the fucking hospital right now.
Yeah, dude, we ordered Total Wine started doing drop off or delivery, not delivery, pickup orders. So you can just like drive your car up, and like the day they announced that, April texted me. It was like Total Wine's doing pickup orders. I was like, okay. She's like, I already placed an order, and we bought like an absurd amount of like wine and booze because it's just like it's the only thing getting us through. I'm gonna be real.
You
I
turn Logan into the wine cellar.
Yeah.
I have 24 White Claws. I think this is the second one from the box. But that's if I have one a week, that's enough to last me like 6 months of podcasts.
There
Nice.
you go.
I just did the same bottle
very-
of wine I had on the podcast last week, and I got like screw tops so I could easily close and reopen them. But yeah, I never drink except on podcasts.
I happen to
What are you
work for a
trying to say?
business that happened to get sponsored by a beer company, and there happened to be a few cases that ended up in my refrigerator right before the quarantine.
Hey,
I'm pretty good
I
on beer
walk
for a
in-
bit.
I walk into the kitchen and Blaine's got like the crates under his arms, and he just looks at me. He's like, I mean, there's a lot. And Todd was saying people were drinking them, and I was like, I don't give a shit, dude. Go for it. More power to you. Like, I was like, in fact, you're missing one of this brand, right? And then you were like, oh, okay, good.
Right.